Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion right here, right now, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined in G+ by Ranty Flat Earth and the 10th Man. How are you both doing?
Fantastic.
Doing good, thank you, Nathan. Yourself?
Very well, very well. No issue. Well, I'm still really ill, but I'm okay. Getting there. We're also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all in the Discord server.
Hello, hello.
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 Any signs of Earth curvature at all?
Not
Yes.
by Carmel by the sea.
Not
Yes.
from 35,000 feet.
I heard yes twice.
You did. I found it
Oh,
a long
okay.
time ago.
Tell me more. Fill me in.
A long time ago, Nath. Do you want to share my screen and show you?
Yeah, sure. Oh, I didn't say of
Good
the
morning,
Earth-based
everyone.
variety. It's too late now, though, eh?
I could have saved so much time if I'd just gone back to this one video that shows it clearly.
This is going to be a banana.
Good morning, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Right, let me bring up the video. Bring up the video. Ready to play?
Let's just make it a little bit prettier. Just give me 10 seconds. I'm going to say yes. Go ahead.
So way back when I first met Tony, went to Hoy Lake, and as you can see, we're watching a boat go over the curve. Look at that. That's definitely going over the curve, isn't it, Nate?
No.
Yeah.
What's the curve?
Filmed.
What's
It's
the curve?
filmed. Look at it. It's tilted and everything.
Someone else do this with him. I'm not going to play along. Someone else play along with him.
Going downhill. Look.
Yeah, I could see that. I still don't see a curve.
Nathan, sorry to interrupt. Some others asked to be unmuted in Discord. New people.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to play along. This is
I
terrible.
can't see what Randy is projecting, but I can guarantee there's no curve.
No, there isn't.
It's going over the curve. I mean, look at it. Oh, well, never mind. That was a joke that didn't go very well, did it?
It was
Bloody
epic.
hell.
Very well done, Ranty.
What
Thank
day
you
is
for
it?
sharing.
Monday? Is it Monday?
It is Monday.
Everyone's feeling crappy, is it? Is that what it is?
Well, certainly I am, but I can't speak for anyone else. But thank you for sharing. Everyone should be off mute now. Fenris, you're flashing away, but I can't hear anything from you.
Yeah, I had something to say. I was just waiting until he was done. So I don't know. What kind of bugs me is that a lot of salespeople keep calling me. Whenever you're viewing something like a boat, like quote unquote going over the horizon, there is curvature. So that boat should look as though it's at a different angle. And so should any building that you're seeing. It should be tilted away from you, even if it's a holographic projection.
And that was my point all along, the tilt. Did you guys not get
Right.
it?
That's yeah. So if you're viewing something from like 80 miles away, it should be significantly tilted away from.
You've slipped off. You slipped off. There. Can't say it with a cold. Say it slower. You have slipped off your push to mute button.
Or push to talk.
I'm ill. Don't correct me. God damn you.
Oh.
Right, let's move
Yeah,
on.
but wait, hold on. This
Go on.
should be curved away. Like, that's only because we're reifying our model.
Yeah, should be on their model, not in reality. Well done. I should have pointed that out first, really. Good job someone's awake. Yeah, Ranty, what do you mean? You're
Right.
showing us pictures and telling us what models should do. This is a reification fallacy that you're doing on their behalf. What are you doing?
It's tilt, Nathan. Tilt. 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 I'm telling you, it's tilt.
Hold on. Who
Doing
said
the
that from
bumpers now.
Discord?
It's tilt.
Really?
Who said that from Discord?
What's that? Tilt.
No. Someone responded and you've
about
whistled
the
past
tilt?
it. Is it Ewok?
Yeah, yeah.
What he's saying, Ranty, is you're telling us this should be tilt while showing us a picture. And by saying there should be, i.e. we should see, you're reifying what their model would do if you were looking at their model. But saying we should see it when you're looking at a picture of reality.
I'm being the sacrificial glober this morning, Nathan.
Did get
Never
out.
mind. It all's gone over all of your heads.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm
I
not
feel
that
like-
sharp today.
I feel like that's precisely the point. It's evidence against the globe model. That's kind of what I was getting. It is reifying it, but it's using.
They're
shout.
using the should tilt fallacy.
Right. So shout out to Abraham Mohammed. I saw your curve, Ranty. Lol. Thank you very much. I hope I say your name right. He sent me an email saying it's Muhammad like Muhammad Ali, as opposed to Muhammad, which is how I was saying it. So I hope I've corrected it, Abraham. I hope I'm saying your name right. I am trying. I promise. Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Nope.
Mark Taylor was trying to tell me there was the other day, but I think he was too scared to come on and talk to me about it because he hasn't been on since that time, which is like probably, I don't know, Thursday.
Anybody else? Axial rotation? Any proof of spinning? Hey, Chocolate.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate.
What's going on?
Just a bit of housekeeping. It's going quite well. Excuse me a sec.
Any axial rotation, Chocolate?
Any access? Right. That's what I thought.
Hooray! Abraham Mohammed says, "It's perfect now, Nathan. You're good, my bro." Thank you very much. Super chatting to say I've got his name right. Thank you, really appreciate your support. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
What's the sun?
No idea. That's third time in a row someone's asked that question. It's probably you every time. I don't know what the sun is. I have no idea. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nope.
Nope.
It's 93 million miles away, Nathan.
And how have you come to that conclusion? How did you measure it?
I didn't, but some clever people told us that it was, and, we've got to believe them.
Okay, because you gave an exact measurement, I know where that measurement came from. It came with a presupposition of an R value and then a manipulation of the angles when measuring that celestial object. So, no. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius, the presupposition used to give you a 96 million mile sun? R value, Earth radius. Anybody?
Wait a minute, Nathan. Wait a minute,
Wait.
Nathan. Before you go over there, they did calculate the distance to the sun using the distance to the moon at the solstice, didn't they? That's
At
how
the
they
what?
did it. They did it through angles.
They manipulate the angles. I just said that, didn't I? Is this thing on? They manipulate the angles based on a radius value.
Well, no, you don't have to know the radius with this, though. You can just measure the distance to the moon. Knowing the distance to the moon, and looking at the certain time the moon is, you can look at as the sun rises during the solstice. You can figure out the distance to the sun. Come on, it has
Yeah, how?
nothing to do with radius.
Say you can.
Paul,
How?
what's the moon?
the moon?
No. Not what's the moon? We've had that. How have you calculated this, Paul? If I could actually speak.
Well, we shot these things called lasers, and we timed the distance from the moon to how that long it took the laser to return, and that's how we figured out the distance to the moon.
Perfect. So you say you timed the return. So were you looking continually or in a specific time slot for when the return signal should come back, based on R?
Well, yeah, that's true, but we also know how fast
Okay, that's
the
it.
light is.
Right, Paul. Don't need. Ugh, I wish I was functional. There's no need to be an actual globe head. Yes, that's right, isn't it? You're going to be doing it based on R again, aren't you? Yeah.
Okay, you got me.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Issa Mahalski. Let's get the other screen up.
What's the medium that that these lasers are traveling through?
That's a good one. Paul, any idea what medium this laser's travelling through now? Oh. Just like a real baller. Keen to interrupt, not so keen when he's being held to task by Ranty, eh?
Well, wait a minute. No, I'm back. I
Wait,
had to
but
step away
how-
for a
how
second.
you
It's a
get-
Yeah.
pressure
Same old
differential.
excuse. Had to step away.
It's a pressure
You guys
differential.
sound like
Don't
you
you
know
know?
what
As
you're
you go
talking about.
higher,
Do
the
you-
pressure
do you have-
lessens.
Oh, we're on to a
pressure
different subject.
differential.
No. What is the medium that the light's travelling through? Don't tell me about the pressure gradients.
Well, it's supposed to be. They tell us it's a vacuum.
Oh, that's a shame.
So it's a bit,
I think it's made of jelly.
There's big problems with that. It can't be a vacuum. If it was an endless space for the gas that we breathe to fill, then it would be filling it. Let's just do a quick shout out. Thank you though, Paul. Etymology of ocean from Greek means the great stream encircling Earth's disk. Shout out Frank America. Really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. And shout out to Frank America.
So let's suppose that the medium that it's trying to travel through is made of jelly. Would that affect the time that it takes for this laser to return?
Oh, here we go. Wingman baller with a stupid straw man. Sorry, if it was made of jelly, what now, red herring?
How long would it take
Affirming
to
the
get through the
concept.
jelly?
Hold on, Ranty. Someone from Discord's tried a couple of times now, and now we've figured out that your input to this is absolutely banal. We'll move on to whoever's trying to interrupt from Discord. Go ahead, whoever's trying to get a word in. Hey, the one.
No, I was just saying, affirming the concept much. That's exactly what everything does. And they say, okay, no, hold on. Now, pretend that we're on a ball, and that's how exactly every proof starts out. By the way, how do you know that space is not a medium? Do you have a PhD in NASA?
PhD in NASA? excuse me a sec. I didn't know NASA were giving out PhDs in NASA. Is that a doctorate that you can actually acquire?
Yeah, these people go on the telly all the time and they tell us about all this stuff. Do you go on the telly and tell us about all this PhD in NASA?
Right, no more making me laugh. It's aggravating my cough.
Is this an Nasology discipline?
Look, without the container, there can be no pressure. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. Entropy would increase. It's a violation of a natural law, the second law of thermodynamics, to assert that the sky is a vacuum. Entropy would increase. We'd have no gas to breathe. The available volume would be outer space. That's what the gas would want to fill. It doesn't, therefore the sky is not a vacuum. Moving on. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Gravity doesn't exist. It's a made-up story.
Anybody at all? Scientific evidence of gravity? Has anybody acquired
Nah.
any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics in their entire histories?
Well, not by Danny Faulkner.
Danny Faulkner referred to a redneck retard known as Blue Marble Science when asked how you can have gas pressure without a container. He showed us a demonstration from a redneck of a gas pressure container transferring gas pressure into another container. So, no, we can't really refer to PhDs like Daniel Faulkner when it comes to gas pressure without a container. His reference is to go and search it out on the internet and refer to a redneck retard. You know, it's very foolish, if you don't know the answer to something, Daniel Faulkner, if you're watching this, to just go and Google search it and come up with the first answer. That's ridiculous and demonstrates how stupid you are. Don't just Google search something if you don't know. Say, I don't know, Dr. Daniel Faulkner.
It was funny the other day on Discord. Zanuck keep using the airplane wing as his illustration for a vacuum, which means you have less pressure above the wing, more pressure below the wing. But when I pressed him, is there's the same amount of stuff above the wing and below the wing? He says, no, there's the same amount of stuff, but that's still a vacuum. I'm going like, oh my goodness, Zanuck, come on.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed, of course, spherical Earth?
No evidence, Nathan.
Nope, that's purely impossible.
Yeah, it was in all of my science books.
Another comedian. In all your science books.
He means indoctrination, pseudoscience books.
I appreciate that many people believe we have a molten iron core, but is there any actual evidence? Evidence being synonymous with proof.
Oh, you want proof?
Evidence is proof. That's what evidence means. Evidence and proof are synonymous.
Can't you just believe them?
Well, that's belief as opposed to evidence.
Yeah.
No, I'm not asking for belief in the molten iron core. That's why I said we've got a comedian. No. The question is not any evidence of your belief in a molten iron core. That I don't need. I know plenty of people believe that Theia smashed into Earth, depositing its oversized molten iron core and the debris coalescing into the moon. Yeah, I appreciate that people have got a lot of bullshit just so stories being fed to them by textbooks at school. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Even if there was, that science doesn't prove anything.
Science proves cause if you validate a hypothesis.
Well, Nathan, if they can go down to that center, which they say is X number of miles, maybe. But the fact that they've only gone 8 miles, how would they know?
And they wouldn't. It's just a made-up story. But lots of people still believe it based on their textbooks. Thank you very much to the chap in Discord. It doesn't mean there's any evidence of it, though. There isn't.
There is.
Oh, here we go. Oh, Ranty's on the case. Wingman to the rescue.
Look at all these images, Nathan. Can't deny it. It's there in black and white and red and green.
Sorry, did you say all of these what?
Images.
Images.
Drawings.
These are some beautiful cartoons, lovely illustrations. Shout out to Cleary.
Yeah, that looks exactly
what
like
did they
my
actually
science
do
book.
in the
That looks
real
just like
world
my-
to come to the conclusion of a molten iron core? That's what I'm curious about.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing, Harwin. Shout out to Cleary. The tree grew up, then the apple came down. Yeah?
Here, I got one for you. I typed into science proof things, and there's this article. Look at this article that pops up in Scientific America. Look at the name of the headline.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist.
Scientific
I don't believe
American's
in
always
facts.
been credible lately.
What's that?
Okay.
The benefits of a post-truth society. There's no absolutes, then how can anything to be known to be true or false?
Then why do we have science?
Are you sure it's not meant
Post-truth.
ironic? Because post-truth society doesn't seem like something that they would literally put out there as factual. It seems more like it's... How do you call that, Nathan?
I
You-
don't know
you
what
like
word
a-
you're fishing for. Sorry, Aaron.
Hmm?
I don't know what word you're fishing for.
Right.
Yeah, but why do we have that thing called the scientific method then?
To prove
Yeah,
or
but
disprove.
I don't think it's literal.
Yeah, it is. Science, as in the scientific method, proves or disproves your scientific prediction. A scientific prediction is also known as a hypothesis. A hypothesis has two sides. An alternative, that which you presume causes the effect, and the effect, formulated as an independent and dependent variable. Independent variable, your presumed cause of the effect. Dependent variable, the effect you think you will cause when you vary that which you assume causes the effect. You also have a null hypothesis, which states the opposite. What you assume causes the effect does not cause the effect. And upon systematic experimentation, you either prove or disprove your scientific prediction. In other words, upon variation of that which you assume causes the effect, you will either cause the effect, proving your hypothesis, or not cause the effect, disproving your hypothesis. So science, the scientific method, proves or disproves a scientific prediction. It is an empirical method. I thank you.
Right.
I
I
have a
agree
quick
to that.
question.
I was pointing at the title of the headline. I'm kind of curious. Could you scroll down a bit? Then I could see if it's actually literal or just a context put out there, like what if?
I assume that's some delusional pseudoscientists that wrote the article.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
is it?
Say that again, the one.
I believe that that's some delusional pseudoscientist that wrote the article.
Right, if you're ever in a position where you need to justify a change in a just so story based on a pseudoscience assertion, then it's very useful to assert that science doesn't prove things, because then if you need to make alterations to your made up story, you can. Oh, science is just adding to the body of evidence. What evidence? What body? Well, the body of science. No. Science is a method. It's empirical. It proves or disproves a scientific prediction. But if you're not doing that, but you're still saying the word science when you make up a story, Dr. Becky, looking at you. Yeah? Just make up stories about black holes and say science? Off to your computer to do some science, you say? Well, no, that would be the establishment of cause and effect based on a hypothesis. That's science. But if you get it wrong, and then someone says, hold on, isn't science alluding to the idea of empiricism? Oh, no. Science, meaning pseudoscience, doesn't prove things. Well, yeah, science proves things, but you're not doing that. That's why you haven't proven anything, and you're needing to change your story. So you're not doing science. This whole article's about pseudoscience and the alterations of their just-so stories. If they had scientific evidence backed with experiment, they'd have empirical data to back their claim with proof. They just don't have that, so they need to declare why they don't have it. Oh, well, science doesn't prove anything. Yeah, it does.
Okay. Now Paul
I have a
scrolled down
quick
and I'm
question.
actually reading the article, and I'm afraid that I was a little bit too positive in my assertions about the individual. I think they literally meant it. That's just horrific.
Well, it is funny how I noticed, like when I asked somebody on the Discord the other day if the Earth is a closed or open system, and he said it's approximately closed. There's no, it's not empirical. There's just
That was Zanuck, right?
I don't know
Was
if
that
it's
Zanuck?
Zanuck or Puppy.
It was
Say that again, Paul.
approximately closed.
Can you repeat
How
yourself,
can
Paul?
facts be relative?
Hold on, Arwen and Chocolate. Can you repeat yourself, Paul?
they're trying to skirt between
Well done,
open
Chocolate and
closed
Arwen.
systems.
Hold
So
on one
now we've-
second.
Get it?
Paul,
Sorry.
can you repeat yourself, please?
Me? Okay. I said that Zanuck or Puppy, I don't remember who it was, said that, asking if the Earth was an open or closed system. They said, well, it's approximately closed. Now think about that. They've fudged the numbers. They've left a gray area. They've left a little bit of wiggle room. They can't absolutely, if they say it's absolute, which is empirical, then they're done. You know what I mean? They're done for. So they got to leave that little bit of wiggle room. Always.
Binary. It's either
No,
open or closed. Sorry, Chocolate, go ahead.
I was going to back him up with saying I heard the same thing. they're now skirting between open and closed, and it could just be approximately now when they need it to be. So it's got a door. It's got a nice revolving door. When it's open, when they need it open, it's open. When they need it closed, it's closed. It's great.
Max-
Works out great.
Maxwell Demon does exist. Oh my goodness, there's proof of that. Maxwell Demon.
Chocolate.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
just
they-
Maxwell's
baffled
demon.
about
Hold
this
on,
sentence
hold on.
here.
Just don't just throw this stuff out there. Maxwell Demon's a thought experiment. Maxwell's
I know,
demon
but,
is
you know,
a thought experiment. It's not something that's been practically applied. It's a thought experiment.
I know, but most of their ideas are concepts anyway, so that's what I'm saying. It can exist in their mind.
Sorry, no. I'm physically holding a mobile phone. It's not conceptual. Some things you can describe conceptually. I can describe the phone in my hand to you, and your idea of the phone in my hand is conceptual. The phone isn't. It's real. I'm holding it. So no, not everything's conceptual, although it can be described as such. Now, if you need everything to be conceptual because you're going to describe something that violates natural law with a thought experiment, then yeah, you're going to use the defense that everything's conceptual. No, it isn't. Just do a couple of quick shout-outs. Shout-out to Rakia Life. Shout-out to Cleary, never retracted. Creator made it perfect. Man can't be all-knowing. Rakia Life. Thank you very much for the super chat. Also, 5 angels. Here's $5. Please send me my NASA PhD. Yeah, sure. You just write to Tobago College and they'll send you one out. Just one more housekeeping question.
$5.
Come on,
waiting
can
for
I have a response?
Go ahead, Darwin.
$4 and change.
Go ahead, Darwin.
Right. So I'm just staring at what Paul's highlighting there. And just that first sentence, it's just like, what? How can you be a factual relativist? That doesn't make any sense. If it's a fact, it's not relative. It's self-contradictory. It's... What?
A factual relativist. I love that. What's the word?
insane.
It's word salad, isn't it? Word salad.
Fact is, per definition, not relative. That's...
Yep, that's what dementia does.
That's what you need from your scientists. Factual relativism. Marvellous, that. Yeah, we're flat earthers and we're talking about the scientific method and its empiricism. Yet the heliocentric priests in Scientific American are talking about factual relativism. It's a joke.
Yeah, get your science communicators together.
I have a quick.
There's a new terminology.
Is this why Zanuck said that it's relatively closed?
Maybe. Go ahead, whoever said that in Discord.
Yeah, I was just going to ask a general science question.
Mike's all yours.
Yeah, just a general science question. Generally, like, what would you say is a good independent variable in general?
Something that you would presume causes the effect you've observed at step 1 of the method.
No, I thought I thought you could just come up with one.
Yeah, you come up with something that you think causes the effect. You come across boiling water and you go, I think acid caused that effect. I think the water is bubbling because there's a high acid content. So you go away, you get some water, you add some acid and go, my hypothesis is if acid, then water boils. If acid, then water not boils is my null. So when I add acid and no boiling water, I have validated my null hypothesis. In other words, I didn't get it right. I didn't prove my cause. Now, is that a good independent variable? Well, no. A good independent variable would be the cause if you guessed right straight away. If you guessed heat, then you would be, in your standards perhaps, coming up with a good independent variable. Good, bad aren't good terms in this regard because it's valid or invalid. There's no good or bad about it. It's just, do you think it causes the effect? Then you go forth and experiment and check if it does or it doesn't. Proving or disproving your hypothesis. If acid, then boiling water is my hypothesis in this example, I then experiment and prove it or disprove it. It's just as simple as that. It's not good or bad.
I think he was playing Mick West when Mick West was asking John for, what's a good one?
I know what he was doing.
For his experiment that he was trying to describe.
For real?
Yeah, bro.
That along with the hillbilly blue balls, those two got to be one of the pièces de résistance of the year.
One last housekeeping question. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Well, I can
Oh,
clearly
wait, I've been
state
waiting for
no,
this. I've been
because
waiting for
every time
this.
Go on, Babs. Go ahead. Go ahead. Was it Babs? Or was it Earth-Shaped
me,
Investigator?
Earth-
Earth-Shaped Investigator,
yeah.
sorry.
Overall, about 1 kilogram of material is escaping our atmosphere every second, amounting to almost 90 tons per day. So there's kind of a container. It's just not a very good container because it's leaking. And Mars also lost its atmosphere. Yeah, Fizz.org,
Is that where
News
the
2016,
approximately comes from?
Yeah.
He was in the middle of a sentence, Chocolate.
I'm sorry, I thought it was done.
No,
just
saying,
to correct
so that's Fizz.org.
Oh my god.
Now you
I've just told Chocolate off. So 2 other people on the panel decide, yeah, I'm going to interrupt him too. Go ahead, Earth-Shaped Investigator.
Yep, so Fizz.org 2016, the curious case of Earth leaking atmosphere. And also it indicates that, or it suggests that the magnetosphere, the Earth's magnetic shield, is a kind of container, not just gravity. It's a doozy.
Anybody want to take that?
So it's like a force field.
Yeah, that's essentially, yeah.
In
It's not just gravity,
space,
yeah.
in Narnia,
Yeah.
where was
Ions from the Earth's upper atmosphere, ionosphere, which extends roughly 1,000 kilometers above Earth.
Oh, okay, so definitely in Narnia. Or space.
Yeah, but I
I
mean, this is a
predicted it.
climate crisis. 90 tons a day. Somebody called somebody.
Can I ask a question? Where did they get that 90 tons a day? How did they validate that?
This is on the magnetospheric cake. 4 satellites called cluster.
Satellites,
Well,
said.
10th man, since you don't have you got to have a PhD in NASA in order to be able to measure this kind of stuff. Okay, you need very precise.
Hold on. Save the sarcasm, please. Go ahead, 10th man.
So again, everything is based on models and predictions to come up with these things. And when we ask for validation, they say satellites in space, which is another area that we are against them with no validation. So all of this 90 tons going somewhere is just like global warming, just a hoax, make up in models saying like CO2 is bad when it's good and necessary for plants and humans. It's just the system the way it is. But then when you ask for validation, the satellites with their high-tech equipment figured this out. Oh, you mean the satellites in the medium where they can't exist? Just an endless circle of jerking us around.
Perfect. Thank you, 10th man. Excellent.
The housekeeping finished?
That is the housekeeping finished. You keen, Ranty? You got something to show us?
Oh, maybe, but what did I say? Patricia Steer's back.
Yay!
Yes and no.
Awesome.
Yes and no.
Yes.
She got a channel.
Yeah, there's a link in the Master B chat. Nathan put that out last night, I think.
Yeah, she was in Brian's chat yesterday. So Brian Staveley, check him out. And he basically reported. She wasn't a guest on his show. He just reported the fact that she was back. And she happened to turn up in the chat, and she made it explicitly clear. She's left Flat Earth. Doesn't mean she's not a Flat Earther anymore, but she's no longer part of this community. That said, she said she may very well have somebody who is a Flat Earther on her show being interviewed, but that's predominantly, primarily not what her channel will be about. So it'll be about lifestyle, narcs, psychopathy, things of that sort of nature. It's going to be a truth-seeking channel, but not specifically a Flat Earth channel. So she's not come back as Flat Earth and other hot potatoes. Her channel's called Patricia Steer, and I'm stuttering a little bit because it kind of didn't make sense. She's saying, no, I'm not back in this community. It's like, well, yeah, you kind of are because you're in a Flat Earth chat telling us about your new channel. And she also said, I made it clear I'm left flat Earth. That's still true, but I may still interview flat Earthers. So that kind of didn't make sense either. But I'm just trying to convey how she put it across. So I think she's not exclusively going to be a flat Earth channel, as she was with Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes. She will be covering other subjects and may, as a sideline, as she is a flat earther, occasionally cover it. That's the only way I could twist what she said, because it didn't wholly make sense, if I'm honest.
Well, she probably just doesn't look forward to having all those trolls back. I think that's probably why she said that, because that is also the reason of why she left, because she was sick of that, and she doesn't want to get her feet right in the middle of that back again. That's why I probably think she said that.
Well, she made that explicitly clear when she was interviewed after leaving, so it's not really speculating.
Oh, okay, right.
I don't care. She's awesome. I'm glad she's back.
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, shout out to Patricia Steer.
Has anyone seen Kent Hovind and Simon Dan going back and forth?
I saw a little bit of that early on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to address one part. And I haven't seen very much of Simon Dan, and I don't have a degree in biology. I've seen a bunch of videos about a bunch of debates about evolution, but I'm certainly not an expert. But at one point, I think Kent Hovind was kind of hammering the point of irreducible complexity, and he made an example like a bird can't operate, a bird can't fly with something like 40% of its wing. And Simon Dan pulls up a penguin. And it was a picture of the penguin's wing. And I just sat there and I was like, are you out of your mind? A penguin's wing is fully formed for a penguin. It uses it in specific ways. It was just, it was beyond ridiculous. He was basically equating
Simon Dan is a Google Earther. That's
surprised.
how he debunks any flat Earth claims. He says, "Oh, flat Earthers say this." He pulls it up on Google. Look what Google says. This is what Google says. Flat Earth debunked. He's a cornball.
If I may, I'm surprised he even went into an actual debate with somebody else. I've never even seen that before. On the other hand, well,
it's
Kent
not a
Hovind
debate.
is
It's
not
not a
flat
debate.
earther,
Sorry,
so-
I have to correct you.
Him.
He didn't? Oh,
yeah. It's a sorry if I said that. I've seen a bunch of debates. They're just going back and forth. Because Kent is actually pretty. He's pretty. How do you say? I don't know. Affluent in what people are taught about evolutionary biology. He's pretty good at earth science and all that. I don't think he's
been doing it for decades. So
I just want to address Brenda in the chat. Sorry. She says, penguins are birds that don't fly, so why do they have wings? They swim?
Yeah.
You dumb
I was like...
Sorry, let me just berate Brenda. You dumb moron. They swim with them. You complete clown.
Just like orcas
they swim
have
really
fins.
fast.
They're not meant for flying either. They're
meant for swimming.
Kind of the same shit.
They're meant for swimming. They catch fish with them. That's what they do. They swim. You complete moron.
Yeah, they're perfectly designed for swimming, but not for flying.
Can I just state that right now in the moment I cannot decide who's the biggest retard between Brenda and Simon Dan?
Hang on, she says, then why don't they have flippers and not wings?
You can call them flippers if you like. That's an arbitrary assignment by us. We call them wings. Do you think the penguins say, I wonder why we've got these wings? No! That's what we've called them, you daft cow.
But
we're dealing with complete idiots. We are dealing with total idiots.
Around underwater.
We're dealing with complete idiots. Simon, Dan, and Brenda. Complete fools.
Yeah, that's why I stated that I cannot make a decision who of them is most retarded.
Yeah, it's the same argument they have with quote unquote transitional animals that exist today, like half in water and half out of water animals, or like fish that kind of like flop around with like little, leg reminiscent body parts. Like, it's so
Or lung.
ridiculous.
How about lung?
Everything now is fully formed and adapted to its environment. So it's like, that's not a good example because it's not transitioning. It's already in homeostasis.
Well, how about lungfish? Now there's a weird creature.
Yes, but it's fully formed. It's not
Yeah, I mean, of
transitioning.
course it
That's
is.
what I'm trying to
It is
say.
where it is because it adapted to that.
Look, the point is, a penguin isn't a transitional animal. It's not starting to grow a wing and will eventually, in 3 million years, get to the point where it can bloody fly. It's perfectly developed for its situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, but these are people who think whales turned into cows or the other way around. I mean,
Right,
I want to
so
address
you're
something.
saying in a
I
couple
want to address
million
something
years,
Erwin said. Sorry, he said that fish adapted. Can you prove that, please? Prove that animal. No, you got to show. When it means adapted, that means it went from one environment to the next over however long period, or was it designed that way?
That's funny,
I'm not
Paul.
saying he has lungs
I
because
caught
he
on
got
to
it.
that too. I just didn't say
I
anything.
think
But
he
yeah,
asked
Sorry, I
for.
didn't mean that he has lungs because it adapted to that. No, it's just another type of creature, and it may adapt somewhat. I don't know what the adaptation range of lungfish are.
Anyway, quick shout out to Chico2J, who says, Brenda, why are you so stupid? Question mark. Yeah, good question. I don't know the answer to that, but thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate your support. Also, a shout out to Abraham Mohammed, whose super chat slipped off the screen. Let's get to it. Just 2 seconds. Here we go. Globe Earther. That is an intensely accurate. And then a picture of a target, I think. Don't really understand your super chat, but thank you very much for your support. Could be my lack of English comprehension.
I feel like, this whole Kent Hovind was really going on top of this because I think QE also talks about it. There would have to be endless fields of dead transitional animals, meaning the first fish to supposedly adapt to the land try and go out onto the land, which to me sounds like humans walking into the water and drowning over and over again for generations. It seems like a mental illness more or less, to go outside of what you're already completely formed into. Like, it makes no sense. Like, how many times did the fish die in order for there to be lungfish? I don't know. It makes no sense.
So that would be the
Yeah, instead of
equivalent of a
deciding
human
not to
trying
go
to
on
go
land.
into the water and actually breathing and literally trying to breathe as opposed to just swimming, and he can't swim so he drowns. But they're talking about literally a human saying, "Oh, let me give this a whirl," going into the water and just trying to breathe. That's how stupid this is.
3 million dead later, one of them succeeded, and he bred with every lovely lady there was, and now we have lungmen.
And how will it procreate?
Now,
when it's the only survivor with this lung mutation, doesn't make a lot of sense. And
bit
in
like
general, mutations among species actually slow down the chances for them to procreate because the other creatures will take note of the deviation and see it as a less viable mate. That's the practice in nature. So it doesn't work. Evolution never works.
Yeah, that's why we don't try to set
So
anything
according to
authority.
evolution, did penguins used to have wings and the ability to fly, but then they just were like, yeah, they landed in Antarctica one day and were like, no, we're going to stay here. This will be better.
No, they
instead of
used to.
flying? Like, how do we know that the evolution didn't go the other way? Why? So in 1,000 years, are they going to have ability to fly, and then seagulls are going to have the ability to fly underwater?
No, they're just transitioning, so they're halfway in between. They used to be frogs, so really they're just
Is
like
that
halfway in between.
that would explain what a puffin is, right? The puffins are
Right.
just transitional penguins.
So we got post-op penguins now. It's awesome.
You got it. Transitioning.
Wait. Let's just take that example he just said. So if some birds flew to Antarctica, they would all die.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like,
yeah, but that's okay.
if
It's
they
like
ended up there.
That's
Right,
okay.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No,
As
it does
opposed
make
to flying
perfect
away,
sense.
they're just going to be like, no, we're going to die out until one of us figures this out.
Yeah. Like the plot of Unbreakable. Have you ever seen Unbreakable? So basically,
Yeah.
the bad dude says, look, out there somewhere is 1 in a million that can adapt and, it won't get hurt in a severe accident. So if I cause enough severe accidents, like drowning the men to eventually come across your Aquaman, that's what he does. He just causes plane crashes and car accidents and train crashes until eventually he finds Bruce Willis. And there you go, that's natural selection. So yeah, you just drown a few men and eventually one of them will have lungs that are capable of doing it. And if you can just drown people indefinitely for 3 million years, obviously they'll adapt eventually. That's natural selection, right? Or they'll all die.
Bullhead selection.
Or they'll all die. But either way, progress is progress.
Timothy Marchant. Flat earthers completely butchering evolution. I am spectacularly unsurprised. Timothy Marchant, I'm your friggin' Huckleberry. Why don't you come on in here to the Discord server and tell us about evolution?
Shout out to
Pretty
Lightwave. Hold on one
Yeah.
second. Shout out to Lightwave says make and female had to adapt at the same. Oh, male, I think. Male and female had to adapt at the same time. Thank you very much for the super chat, Lightwave, and also a shout out to RSD. He says a penguin is not a cow, but you can think of it as a cow. Thank you very much, Alexander. Not RSD. It's just given the financial.
It was once a cow.
Just 1 second, sorry. Shout out to Alexander. Just got your name wrong while I was scrolling up to find you. Thank you very much for the super chat. Hey QE, hey Sleeping Warrior. Hey QE, hey Sleeping Warrior.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey.
Yo, what up?
So what was the definition of evolution again?
Timothy Marchant, we're still waiting for you to arrive in Discord, Mr. Keyboard Warrior. Bring your evolution in.
Can Timothy give us the definition for evolution?
Hold on, got a definition of something.
First thing we're going to ask you is the definition of evolution, then the scientific theory of evolution, then the hypotheses that were frigging validated for evolution. Let's see how you butcher it, clown show.
Quick shout out.
I actually want to do
just a quick shout out to Verum. He says transitioning penguins love hormone therapy. Thank you very much for the super chat.
I wanted to address something also, and I wanted to hear. I couldn't remember if I'd brought this up to QE before, but one of the things that people use as a proof is one of them is proof of evolution. One of them
What is evolution?
Right. Wait a second. So they...
No, I'm not waiting. You have to define the thing that you're providing proof for.
I'm not providing the proof. I'm saying...
Well, then you have no proof.
Exactly. Okay, I don't think evolution happens. So...
Well, what's evolution?
I guess... an organism changing over time? I have no idea.
An organism changing over time sounds like a summary of the second law of thermodynamics to me.
Well, so this person, a lot of people use for proof of evolution is the similarity between genes.
What's evolution?
You've already asked.
See, we're going to go round and round here. Listen, if I'm providing evidence for a banana, I'm going to first define what the banana is, then I'm going to provide evidence for it. You don't say this is evidence for something and then don't provide the definition for it. right?
Evolution is not scientific.
I don't care
Yes.
whether it's scientific or not. I want to know what it is.
Right.
Then
Is
we'll
it
deal with that,
adaptation?
whether it's scientific
The-
after that.
What I'm trying to get at is my response to what they said. So
That's fine.
they were saying this is proof, and I was saying, well, if you were to reify what you think, similarities between genes would be an effect. It wouldn't be a cause, so you couldn't use it as a proof anyways.
Where'd you get genes?
Genes?
Yeah.
Where did I get them?
Yeah.
It's a trap.
No, play along. We know you're on our side. Just play along.
From
Where'd you
your
get
mommy and daddy.
Hold on, Arwin. Hold on. Where'd you get genes? It's a fair enough question, right?
I mean, I got it from where I was taught about genes.
Where'd DNA come from? Because if you're saying evolution, whatever that is, I'm thinking that it's natural. So I want to see the natural formation of DNA.
Thank you. That's what I want to see. Thank you. That's
By
a
itself,
really good point.
DNA. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DNA would be lots and lots of information, right?
You'd need a knower
Right.
for that, I think.
Hold on. DNA's lots and lots of information, correct?
Yep.
There is information in DNA, yes.
And could that information come to pass just by nature? Can nature just create information of its own volition?
I think he tried
How
to
is
say it.
how
I
is
think-
DNA communicated?
Yeah, I'm not even talking about the information yet. I'm just talking about chemically. We didn't get the information yet. We're just talking.
Okay, I can
how
play to that.
Oh, okay.
It's all right. Let me play to that. Chemically, yeah. Right, with enough time, you will have the composition just naturally form. So you've got like this soup, and it's all the various different things. Let me get there. Just play along. So you've got this primordial soup. It's like an ooze, and it's got all of the things you need just mixed up together. And then, by chance, the temperatures were all correct, and a bit of electricity was added to the mix, and then there you go. You've got humans.
Boy, that's a wonderful story.
Wow.
Given enough time, wouldn't we come up? We'd come up with shoe, right? Given enough time.
See, this guy knows what I'm talking about. You see, it's just a question of time. If you've got enough time, then yeah, the wind will eventually blow the sand dune into a sandcastle. You just need enough time.
So basically, when you look at shoes, like Crocs are a transitional shoe. Sandals, transitional, right?
Oh my God.
Look, no, I know where this guy's going, and I just agree with him. Yeah, given enough time, right, in that primordial soup and ooze, with a bit of lightning, yeah, you can go from Crocs to sandals. That's right.
So
Can you
is
show
the
that for us,
Earth
please?
now-
Well,
Is
you'd have to
now-
bend a lot of donuts first. Once we bend enough donuts and give enough time, then we should be good.
Nah, time's not on your side here because it also is directly proportional to entropy. So you're still screwed. More time, the worse it gets.
So is the Earth now
Yeah.
actually evolving because it's changing from open to closed system?
No, it's just both at the same time. Whatever you need, if you're a fundy.
Maybe that's a question for John. In
John
terms of-
LeBon, we're talking about evolution because we're trying to move away from your two pole stars. That's why. Or are you going to come back here and try to push that nonsense again? John LeBon.
Two pole stars? What was he talking about?
Yep.
Some two pole star. He's on that Timmy clown nonsense. Haven't you gotten away from that since 2015?
No, he was talking
Come
about...
on back on here. I'll whip you around by the short hairs for a little bit. Come on.
I know the answer to that. I was watching him the other day, so no, he hasn't. I did point it out in the chat, and he did say, to be fair, if you think I'm guilty of a fallacy, then just point it out, so I'll do that now. Thanks, John LeBon, for being here. So, essentially, if you use the star rotation as proof of a sphere Earth, you must first assume you're on a sphere Earth in order to make that example. So you'd say, I think you phrase it something like, the flat earthers don't have any explanation for the star rotation in the southern hemisphere. Well, by using the word hemisphere, you're automatically assuming that in your example, you started a position in Australia, and then when you travel up to the UK, note the word up, to the UK, then you're assuming that you're travelling around a ball to observe stars antipode from where you began on that ball. Well, that's begging the question. Assuming that you're travelling to the other side of a ball to make a star observation is ignoring the fact that during the entire journey the stars are above you the entire way. They never go under your own arse. But you're assuming that the stars that you saw above your head when you began the journey are now under your arse when you arrive at the end of your journey. And then you make your observation and affirm the consequent. So the way that the fallacy is formulated is if P, if the Earth is a sphere, then Q, I will observe star rotation. Q, I observe star rotation. Therefore P, Earth is a sphere. So it's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy where you assume your outcome. You assume that the Earth's a sphere and you're travelling antipodal to make a star observation. Because you've travelled antipodal in your assumption and made a star observation, you've proved the Earth's a spherical surface. Well, no, you've assumed it's a spherical surface in your example.
There you go, John LeBon.
John LeBon, guy's a baller.
Yeah, he's in the after show. Give us about 4 minutes, John LeBon. We'll meet up with you, okay?
I think I noticed a mistake in what I was saying before about shoe. I think that's using synthetic materials. I think you need to use natural wood, and then that will eventually turn into the table in my kitchen. It's got to be natural material.
You're right, though. If wood, then clog. That's a valid hypothesis right there.
Yeah, you got to use the natural material. Otherwise, it won't work.
Yeah, natural material. Forget about phenomena. Just as long as it's natural. That's all you need.
Right. Nature. It's got to come from nature, right?
Yeah, if
well, they don't know what nature is. They don't know the difference between natural and synthetic.
Well, everything's natural. Right. I'm a man. If I make it, it's still natural because I'm a man and I'm in nature. So therefore, if I've got the stuff from nature or created it entirely synthetically, that's still natural because I made it.
Yeah.
That's super nature.
Well, it's synthetic, but no, it's not. It's nature because I've made it and I'm natural.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're natural material. I didn't think about it.
Don't sigh. This is what we get.
Yes.
I've heard you say something about amino acids and DNA. Are you saying DNA isn't made of amino acids or something?
Yeah, Brenda back in the day said DNA is made of amino acids or DNA is made of protein, one or the other. Yeah, that's what
is that just not proven?
Not proven. DNA. What is DNA?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Deoxyribose nucleic acid. Does that sound like a friggin' protein to you?
It's an acid.
It's got acid in common. Jeez, oh man.
I mean, ribose.
Well, yeah, you just haven't given.
Isn't ribose a sugar?
Yes, it is.
Nucleic acid.
Yes. It's got a nucleobase.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't sound like one. You're right.
Yeah.
No, you're all wrong. Brenda has smashed you in this argument. She smashed you in every argument. You just don't understand. Another shout out to Abraham Muhammad, who says, no scientific evidence that the stars go under my ass. Yeah, right on. It's just part of an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy, Abraham Muhammad. Thank you very much indeed for your super chat. And with that, I'll say if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, then this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley. I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!